Hey guys, this week we're going to go over the features of 3 different types of reels we use for targeting the hard fighting kingfish. And all these reels we use on our busy charter boat. We've got the lever drag, spin reel, and a star drag type reel. 3 different types of reels. They all work well for live baiting and jigging, but the only difference is you've got a different technique on how to use them correctly, and that's what we're going to go over. So first up we have the lever drag reel, and in this case we have the Shimano Teleca 12. This has been a workhorse reel now for over 6 years. Absolutely stunning reel, silky smooth drag. It can punch up to about 18 kilos of drag. Free spool is really good free spool, excellent for live baiting, no friction. And the great thing about this lever drag is you can see exactly how much drag pressure you're applying. Moving on to the spinning reel. We love to use the Stellar reels. They're the flagship reel pretty much of the Shimano range. Absolute stunning reel, built for big fish. This punches out 25 kilos of drag, silky smooth drag. These things are built for durability, longevity, and slaying big fish. And then we have the star drag reel. I've been fortunate enough to get my hands on this new Shimano Ocea Jigger 4000, and from all accounts, it's absolutely beautiful reel to use. Silky smooth drag, just like the Teleca, it punches out 18 kilos of drag. But the difference is it has a star drag system here for tightening the pressure up or reducing it. So the biggest mistake I've seen over the years is anglers not presetting their drag or knowing or understanding how much drag they've got to fight a trophy fish. With the lever drag, it's really simple. It's just a matter of presetting your drag. You have the knob on the side which you can adjust the drag pressure up and down, and we like to have up on strike about 7 or 8 kilos of drag. So it's very easy to be able to set your drag to get it to the right place, so you know exactly how much drag you've got when you step up to the plate and hook a big fish. Not enough drag, you're going to probably get spooled or get reefed on the bottom. Too much drag, potentially going to break your line, break your leader, or even break your rod. So very important to know exactly how much drag you've got. Now with the spinning reel, we have to go about this in a slightly different way. We need to know exactly how much drag we've got when we're fighting a fish. And to understand exactly how much drag you've got, what I do is I adjust my drag pressure up to my fighting drag, which is very similar to what you'd have at strike on a lever drag reel. So we've got our drag set at strike, we'll call it, and then we can back it off. And in this case, we know 3 half turns gets it back to that free spool state. And now, when the fish takes the bait, it can peel off reasonably freely. You've got the clicker there for a good indicator. And then we know when we go to set the hook, it's only 3 turns to fighting drag. If we're still losing line and it's a really big fish, we know that we've got 1 more twist in it, and that's a really strong drag there. So understanding exactly how many twists it is to get your drag up on a spinning reel is a really good thing to know. So before you even drop a line in the water, put it onto fighting drag and then back it off so you understand on how much drag it takes to get it to the right setting once you've hooked the fish. So with the star drag, it's a very similar system as we would do on the spinning reel. You need to know exactly where your drag's at. So in this case, we have our drag set for our fighting drag, which is like our strike, like we talked about before. And then we know 1, 2, 3, and it locks back. So it locks back at almost a free spool state. So there's 2 different variations that we can use to hook a fish with a star drag. One of them, which I do like, especially with the Ocea Jigger, is it's got, when the drag's pulled right off, it's almost like free spool, but it actually has a clicker. So we can be live baiting with that. The line can peel off. We're not going to get an overrun, but it's still light enough that we can get a good hook up. And then we know that's going to be 1, 2, 3 to get it to fighting drag. The other way we can do it is by having a slight amount of drag on here. So we'll go 1.5 twists. And we can actually have it in free spool. So now we can actually get the bite, we can keep our thumb pressure on here, and the line can peel off. But when we click it into gear, it's not too much drag where it's going to pull the hook out of the mouth, especially when we're using circle hooks. It's enough for the line to go tight, and then you can put the last amount of drag pressure on to get it to strike. So yeah, there's 2 different ways. You can do it from free spool with a slight amount of drag already in preset, or have it in gear, but the drag right back, so it's almost like in free spool. So the lever drag is a stunning reel, and it's really visual and easy to see exactly how much drag pressure you're applying. But I think over the years, I've seen a better hookup rate for our anglers and guests on the star drag and the spinning reels. And this, the only reason it is if we get an inexperienced angler, they get a bite, they quickly put up the drag and strike the fish. It can happen very, very simple. So if you're using circle hooks, it doesn't give it time for that hook to roll into the corner of the mouth. But when the angler's using a star drag or spinning reel type system, they've actually got to manually put up the drag, and it doesn't happen quickly. So what it does is the line goes tight, and it gives it time for that hook to roll in to the corner of the mouth. And I think we get a better hookup rate with the star drag and the spinning reels, but in the hands of an experienced fisherman, this is going to be just as good. There's a few features on this new Ocea Jigger 4000 that I really do like. You've got the long arm, a nice big power handle. The star drag is really, really comfortable and easily used. When it's in free spool, you have a preset here, so you can actually adjust how much tension is on the free spool. So when you're live baiting, you can set it so you don't get an overrun if you get a bite. When you're dropping big heavy jigs, you can adjust it so you don't get overruns, and that's a really good feature. Another feature that I really like is when you actually are losing line, it has a nice sort of clicker in there which is not overpowering, but it can tell you when you're losing line. And as a charter boat skipper, this is a great function, I can see if our guests are in trouble. So a really good feature. Do I have a favourite? Well, not really. I think once you know the true potential of each different type of reel and understand the drag system, they all work just as well as each other. But this new Ocea 4000 is an absolute stunner of a reel, so keep an eye out for it at your local Hunting and Fishing New Zealand stores. Thanks for tuning in. Adios.